I sat on the high-speed train, attempting to appease my wife, who was far away and inexplicably sulking. When she saw me sit down in front of our apartment door, without a word, she pulled me into the bedroom. She then angrily punched me twice. I chuckled, teasing, "Wow, your apartment is really solid." Lily and I met through a blind date arranged by our families. To be more precise, we were classmates for 3 years in high school. It's just that she was always engrossed in her studies, while I was frequently away for training. So, she didn't remember me. That day, when I learned that my blind date was Lily, I rarely dressed so formally. She was already 25 or 26 years old, but her attire still resembled her school days, drawing glances from young men in the cafe. Lily, on the other hand, was quite casual for a blind date, appearing to wear no makeup and a simple white dress. I wondered if she was completely indifferent to this blind date with me. She should have many suitors. Why was she on a blind date? Looking at Lily opposite me, equally awkward, I decided to break the silence. "Lily, you came here?" Lily raised her eyebrows. "Mr. John, you seem unwilling?" "How could I be unwilling? It's just, honestly, I feel we're not a match." Back in high school, whenever I sat in front of Lily, during every recess, classmates would gather around her, asking about homework. She was not only beautiful and intelligent, but also had a cold demeanor, truly a school beauty. As for me, I had been academically weak since childhood. Luckily, I had loved drawing since I was young, and my family supported my pursuit of art. I was admitted to a somewhat prestigious art school. No, it's just that someone as outstanding as Miss Lily, why would she go on a blind date with someone ordinary like me? My work is busy, and I don't have time to date. I secretly rejoiced, but outwardly remained calm. If Lily and I could truly be together, it would be something I wouldn't dare to dream of, even in my wildest fantasies. I also never expected that Lily and I would marry so quickly afterward. It was probably due to pressure from her family. She also hadn't found anyone suitable to marry, so she reluctantly accepted me. And just like that, our relationship took shape. Even my best friend, Wash, was astonished by our marriage. Only he knew that I had maintained a steadfast, unrequited love for Lily for nearly 10 years. Upon hearing about our engagement, he gave me a thumbs up. "Buddy, you truly are something." However, I hoped Lily would never know about my decade-long secret crush on her. The number of times I met Lily before marriage could be counted on one hand. Despite the speed, the wedding preparations were not at all careless. Lily's parents were both refined intellectuals, not at all difficult to deal with. On the contrary, they treated me very well. After all, a family that could raise an outstanding child like Lily couldn't be unreasonable. With the principle of marrying only once in a lifetime, the wedding must be organized perfectly. I tried my best within my capabilities to give Lily the best. I truly felt like we were together because of years of love, though sadly, it was only my unrequited love. After the wedding, Lily stayed home for a week before returning to South City for work. During this honeymoon week, naturally, everything that should be done was done. Initially, Lily was a bit shy, but then fatigue overcame her awkwardness. She just accepted all my ministrations. Sitting at the dining table, watching Lily's back as she cooked, I had never imagined my life could be so complete. Heaven truly favored me. Lily brought the food to the table, and looking at my bare chest, I saw a hint of hesitation in her eyes. "Tomorrow afternoon, I have to go back to South City. If anything comes up, call me." I mumbled between mouthfuls of rice, "MMM." A week passed so quickly. Looking at Lily in front of me, I was truly reluctant to part. "Tomorrow morning, I'll help you pack. I'll take you to the station tomorrow afternoon." I looked up at Lily. "One trip, and it's for months." Lily smiled and agreed. As a result, that night, I tormented her to the point that she couldn't get up the next morning. I helped her pack her luggage and went with her to the station in the afternoon. On the way, she couldn't resist punching me. I didn't mind much, just smiled and ruffled her hair. Thinking about her leaving soon, I felt a faint sadness. This sadness lingered until I saw the leftover rice Lily had cooked in the refrigerator. Sprawled on the large bed, I calculated the National Day holiday. Since Lily was not home, I seemed to have returned to my single life before marriage. When I was free, I would call her. There was still a bit of awkwardness between us, and I wasn't good at talking, even more so with girls. On Friday night, I was sprawled on the sofa watching soccer when I heard a knock on the door. I sat up, wondering who it was. I thought it must be Wash, coming to ask me out for drinks. Thinking it was Wash, I reluctantly got up and went to the door. Looking through the peephole, I saw a beautiful and delicate face. Lily, petite, was standing outside the door with a suitcase. I tried to suppress the excitement in my heart and opened the door. Why are you back? Holiday already. Just a normal weekend off. Weekend off and you still came back? Don't you think it's a bit strange? You must be overthinking. Isn't it tiring to travel back and forth like this? I felt a little guilty for making Lily work so hard. Looking at her small frame, I felt both happy and distressed. Lily lowered her head, her expression suddenly turning aggrieved. I realized I might have said something wrong and quickly tried to remedy it. I didn't mean that. I'm very happy you could come back. I promise, that's the truth. Don't worry, I'm not tired at all. Lily raised her head and smiled at me, two sweet dimples appearing on her cheeks, slightly coy. I couldn't help but ruffle her hair. Our height difference was quite significant. I was about 6 feet 2 inches, while Lily was just over 5 feet 3 inches. Lily nestled into my chest and whispered, I missed you a little. It wasn't until noon the next day that I woke up. Lily was cooking outside. I reached for my phone to check the time, but accidentally picked up Lily's phone. Just as I was about to put it back, her phone suddenly lit up with a message. I unconsciously glanced at it. The sender was Willow, our high school classmate. In my memory, she was a very lively girl, one of the few who could talk to Lily. Lily, are you free this afternoon? Want to go shopping with me? Rice is back recently. He wants to see you today, our high school days. Back in high school, Lily and Rice were deskmates. They shared common interests and both excelled academically. They often borrowed each other's notebooks to study. Looking at them, there was always a sense of equal footing. At that time, I thought if Lily truly liked someone, it would probably be Rice. After all, they were deskmates for so long. The more I thought about it, the more worried I became. I even started to suspect Lily's return. Was it ultimately to see me or to meet Rice? At lunch, Lily probably sensed my unease. She patiently asked me, What's wrong? Are you not feeling well? Nothing, just a bit of a loss of appetite. Is it because I didn't cook well? I'm not very good at cooking. It's okay, I'll cook later. I replied to Lily distractedly, my mind in turmoil. I didn't know if I should ask her. This afternoon, I have to go out. Lily looked at me with expectant eyes. Will you come with me? She still wanted to meet Rice. I knew she probably didn't want me to go along, but I temporarily didn't know how to face it, so I pretended to be generous and declined. Hearing my refusal, Lily seemed a bit disappointed. What was her true feeling after all? Are you stupid? Why are you so hesitant? Wash scolded me. She asked if you wanted to go with her, and you should just go. You act so reserved, making people angry because you can't turn iron into steel, only disappointed that others aren't ambitious. I don't want to see Rice. Forget about it. You're Lily's official husband now. What do you have to be afraid of him for? I think maybe our classmates are also surprised that Lily and I ended up getting married. Wash suddenly gossiped. But do you know, Rice recently got divorced? He was married before, you know? A thunderbolt struck in my heart. Suddenly, an answer emerged. Years ago, Lily hadn't fallen in love with anyone. Could it be because the person she liked was married? Now that Rice was divorced, he wanted to see Lily again. He had gotten married right after graduating from university, and we weren't close to him, so it was normal that he didn't inform us. I forced a smile. But you said he's divorced and wants to see Lily again. What does that mean? It's clearly provoking people. Don't mention him anymore. If Rice confesses to Lily, what will she do? Will my marriage with Lily, which has no foundation of love, collapse? Wash and I chatted until evening. We found a barbecue restaurant for dinner. After dinner, I didn't even want to go home. I suddenly realized I was sulking at Lily, but in front of her, I still had to pretend to be magnanimous. Under Wash's instigation, I became even more annoyed. Wash kept yelling, wanting to take me to a bar to drown my sorrows. I had already agreed, but the next second, seeing several missed calls from Lily, I immediately lost interest. Just now, I didn't check my phone. Lily called me several times already. So what? She can go out to meet other men. Why can't you go out for drinks? It's not a private meeting. Her best friend is also there. I see through you, John. You're just afraid of your wife. Okay. I'll call her back. I hurriedly walked out the door and called Lily back. The other end of the line immediately answered. Where are you? Almost done. Almost home. My voice softened instantly. Lily, I'm at the barbecue restaurant. Send me the location. You can go home by yourself. It's fine. You're on the way anyway. Wait for me there. Okay. After finishing the call with Lily, I turned back. Wash looked at me with a knowing grin. Wash, let's just go home. Get lost. I still have my fun to continue. Next time for sure. All right. I'm leaving now. Not long after, Lily's petite figure appeared at the entrance of the barbecue restaurant. I saw her waving to me from afar, her face full of smiles. She obediently sat in the passenger seat, closed the car door. Our eyes met. I stared at her for a moment. Instead of driving away immediately, I realized Lily hadn't fastened her seatbelt. As I leaned over to help her, Lily took the initiative to reach out, cupping my face and gently kissing my cheek. I was stunned for a few seconds, then took her hand and returned the kiss. I suddenly realized we had never had a proper kiss. Lily also unconsciously wrapped her arms around my neck. Just then, a car horn blared loudly from behind, making Lily quickly push me away. We were too engrossed and forgot we were standing in front of the barbecue restaurant, blocking others. I helped her fasten her seatbelt and drove home. Lily's face was flushed, and she turned away, not daring to look at me. I drove fast, and soon we arrived home. Looking at the numbers displayed in the elevator, my heart beat faster and faster. Arriving home, memories of high school flooded back, images of us studying side by side, the laughter of friends around us, and the times we went to the supermarket after school to buy snacks. Lily back then was even colder than now. Unless someone actively talked to her, she would just sit quietly in her seat, not saying a word. Thinking back, after marriage, Lily had become much warmer, perhaps to alleviate the loneliness of our long-distance marriage. Every holiday, Lily came home. My mom was surprised, asking why Lily came back from South City so often. I proudly boasted that she came back every week. Since Lily came into our home, the house, which had been dominated by cold tones of black, white, and gray, had gradually become warmer. She liked to decorate the house with small, cute items. She had laid a large cream-colored rug in the living room. However, after buying it, she regretted it, feeling it didn't fit the style of the house, so she bought more accessories in the same color, but it still seemed a bit mismatched. One day, Wash came over to play. Looking at the large rug on the floor, he pondered, "Why does your house look so weird? Like two completely different styles." Lily bought it. "Single dogs like you. Don't say too much," I retorted. Wash glanced at me, then slumped onto the rug. "National Day is coming soon. Any plans?" "None." I lazily took 2 cans of soda from the fridge, handing one to Washington. "If you didn't mention it, I would have forgotten. Do you remember our old class monitor? He said he's organizing a class reunion during National Day, inviting us to dinner. He's rich now, inviting old classmates to eat and drink everywhere. He's still the same." Wash took a sip of soda and said, "Among our high school classmates, isn't Rice also there? When Rice meets Lily again, don't you feel awkward? Let me tell the class monitor that you and Lily are busy and can't go. Lily and I are already married. Why should I avoid him? And from what I know, Rice is so arrogant, he probably wouldn't stoop to destroying someone else's family." "That's true. There's no reason for you to avoid him." Wash nodded in agreement. The class monitor had announced in the high school chat group that a reunion would be held on National Day evening at a high-end hotel in River City. Once the reunion information was posted in the class chat group, the group, which had been silent since graduation, suddenly became lively again. The night before National Day, Lily returned from South City. Although we hadn't been apart for long, I felt she had lost weight, making my heart ache. As soon as she entered the house, she ran to hug me. "I'm back." She was wearing a cream-colored sweater and shorts, looking so pretty and adorable. Her style of dressing was still the same as in high school. I hugged her and pulled her luggage inside. Her soft hands on my neck made my heart race faster. She stared at the living room. I followed her gaze to the cream-colored rug she had bought. "Should I get rid of this rug? I can take it back to my parents' home too." "No need. I like it very much. Our home used to be too dark. This color is very nice." I put the luggage aside, put my arm around her waist, and sat down on the sofa together. "Are you tired? Go to sleep first. I'll make you a late-night snack." Lily leaned against me, resting her head on my shoulder like a lazy kitten. I could smell the faint fragrance from her hair. "I missed you." Lily raised her head, wrapping her arms around my neck. She was about to kiss me, but I quickly covered her mouth with my hand. "Did you want a late-night snack?" Lily was clearly disappointed by the rejection. "I'm not hungry. I just wanted to kiss my husband. Is that not allowed?" Seeing her pout, I had no choice but to kiss her lightly on the cheek. Even if you're not hungry, you still have to eat. You've lost weight. You probably don't eat properly outside. While I was cooking noodles, Lily came to hug me from behind. I suddenly thought, why had Lily become so clingy? In high school, she was so cold, hardly talking to anyone. I brought the noodles to the table. Watching Lily eat noodles reminded me of our high school days. Back then, after school, whether going to the canteen or back to the dorm, she would always walk alone. I couldn't keep up with her pace at all. At that time, I truly felt that studying was everything to Lily. No one could stop her from moving forward. She wanted to advance, to soar high, while I could never catch up. The noodles took 10 minutes to cook, but Lily finished them in just a few minutes. I quickly washed the pot and bowl. Tomorrow night, the class monitor is inviting the whole class to dinner at a hotel. Are you going? While Lily was unpacking, I sat on the sofa and chatted with her. Do you think it's been many years since our last class reunion? First time, right? Do you have any old friends you want to meet? Actually, I really wanted to ask about the current relationship between Lily and Rice, but I was afraid Lily would think I was petty. What about you? Is there anyone you want to meet the most? If it was before marrying Lily, the person I would want to meet the most would definitely be her. Really? She was a little surprised, but didn't ask anything further. On National Day, I spent a long time at home choosing my outfit for the evening. Lily went to a beauty salon and got her hair done with Willow and didn't come home until noon. After sleeping in, I looked at the clock. It was already 4:45 p.m. Lily hadn't woken me up either. I hurriedly got up and changed clothes. Lily stood beside me, watching me style my hair. Her beautiful face with makeup seemed gloomy. She pouted, looking at me coldly. Is there someone so important among your old friends? How could she understand that this was a contest between men? Especially since Rice was also among our old friends. When rivals meet, naturally, sparks will fly. No. I hurriedly tidied myself up and replied vaguely to Lily. Lily's face became even colder, and she remained silent, waiting for me on the side. All the way driving to the hotel, she didn't say a word, as cold as ice. I wasn't good at talking. When Lily didn't talk, I also didn't know how to coax her. The two of us just remained silent. The class monitor, leader, who used to be a tall, skinny, and humorous guy, now looked like he had become successful in his career, slightly overweight. From afar, seeing Lily and me, he eagerly greeted us. Oh, isn't it Lily and John? So many people in our class don't know that John and Lily are married. Seeing us together, they were all surprised. Wash waved to me. I sat down beside him, with Lily sitting close beside me. Our old classmates all curiously looked at us at this moment. The class monitor patted my shoulder. Announced to everyone, some of you may not know yet, Lily and John are married. Everyone exclaimed in surprise. Suddenly, Lily and I became the center of attention. Everyone's eyes felt like needles pricking me. Who pursued whom? Back in high school, I didn't see you two being close at all. That's right, who pursued whom? Our goddess Lily has never taken the initiative. I bet it was John pursuing her, huh? Don't tell me John pursued her from high school until now to finally succeed? I was embarrassed, not knowing how to answer. Just as I was about to say we met through a blind date, Lily's gentle voice beside me rang out. I took the initiative. Everyone discussed even more excitedly. I was just about to explain when I was interrupted. John used to be on the school basketball team, not inferior to anyone. Following the voice, a girl who seemed cold was leaning against the door. Summer. Wash and I hadn't seen her for a long time. Summer in high school was from a wealthy family, genuinely wealthy, very generous to friends, and without any airs. Among the few students who took art exams in our class, our relationships were quite good. Summer, to us, was at most like a good brother. Summer quickly walked over, greeting everyone, then, in front of everyone, playfully ruffled my hair and sat down on Wash's left. I vaguely felt Lily becoming even colder. She pursed her lips, no longer making eye contact with me. Before long, everyone arrived, including Rice. He was wearing a well-tailored suit and glasses, looking like a successful businessman, who knew that when he arrived, there was only a seat beside Lily. He took the initiative to chat with Lily, completely ignoring me. From beginning to end, he tried to treat me as invisible. I turned my anger into appetite, burying my head in eating. Everyone was drinking in the private room, chatting in groups. Halfway through the meal, Lily went outside for a while. Less than half a minute later, Rice also went out. I remained silent. Wash and Summer came beside me, laughing and joking, saying things over my head. A green hat, someone said, implying I was being cuckolded. Isn't it? John, can you tolerate this kind of thing? Summer looked very excited, winking at me. Humph, you haven't seen your goddess Lily and Rice meeting privately yet. Goddess Lily just has to wave her little hand, and John will be easily appeased. Wash scolded me for not turning iron into steel. The class monitor had opened several bottles of liquor. By then, I was already tipsy, constantly urging the class monitor to pour me more drinks. Until Wash drank a few glasses, Lily returned. Seeing me drinking, she frowned. Her slender white hand took my glass away. You're not used to drinking, don't drink too much. By this time, I was already a bit dizzy. Initially, I didn't plan to drink anymore, but hearing some of Lily's female friends talking about how Rice and Lily were very ambiguous in high school and why she married John after graduation, I became truly angry, with nowhere to vent. Completely ignoring Lily's words, I took the glass back and continued drinking. Wash and Summer, those two fools, were still cheering me on. The three of us just kept drinking until we were drunk. I didn't even know how I got home. Before leaving, I even pulled Wash, telling him to quickly escape singlehood. I stumbled as I walked, Lily holding onto the corner of my shirt, guiding me home. I was like opening a chatterbox, rambling nonstop. The next morning, waking up, I completely didn't remember what I had said last night when I came home drunk, only remembering that Lily was angry at me, refusing to hold my hand, and I just kept talking and talking, but what I said, I truly couldn't remember. I sat on the bed, looking bewildered. Perhaps it was because I drank alcohol that Lily was angry. She started ignoring me. I had sincerely apologized, promising I wouldn't drink so much again in the future. But she still didn't seem happy. Could it be that when I was drunk, I had done something outrageous to her? In short, during the 7-day holiday, she always avoided talking to me, and there was no physical contact either. At night, sleeping, she would turn her back to me, as if not wanting to pay attention to me. Before, when she wasn't angry, she would sleep very close, like a little cat, rubbing and nuzzling in my arms. Lily even went back to South City 2 days early. Looking at her back as she packed, I practiced and practiced in my heart for a long time before finally saying, "Are you still angry at me?" "No." "Then why are you going back so early?" I felt a little choked up, originally wanting to ask clearly about the matter between her and Rice. The company has something that needs to be dealt with. Since the National Day holiday, since Lily returned to South City, she hadn't come back again, at least not as frequently as before. I made an appointment with Wash for dinner to confide in him. Tell me, what did I do that day? How would I know? I was also too drunk that day. How did you get home that day? Class monitor and Summer took me home. On the way, Summer even asked me how Lily and John got together. I truthfully confessed that you two went on a blind date. Seeing me like this, Wash again blamed Lily. She herself is still entangled with that Rice, yet she dares to be angry at you for drinking a little alcohol. Before, she used to come back often, but now it's been over a month and she hasn't shown her face. Why is she treating you with Cold War like this? In this past month, I occasionally texted Lily, asking her if she wanted to come back. The answer I always received was, "Work is busy, no time." I asked her if she was tired at work, and she would only reply, "SOSO." After dinner, sitting and chatting in the restaurant, I absent-mindedly opened my social media to browse. Since the National Day holiday, the frequency of posts from that Rice guy had clearly increased. All sorts of pretentious, meaningless posts. Like, those who understand me will naturally understand. After wandering around, you will eventually come back to me. In high school, I didn't see him being so pretentious. This time, Rice posted a photo taken under the Kin Company building, with the caption, "Starting again," location tagged in South City. I looked closely at the photo. This company was clearly the company Lily was working for. No way, John is about to be cuckolded. Wash was even angrier than me. "Buddy, you weren't this pushover before. Maybe it's just a coincidence." Although I was very upset, I still believed Lily wouldn't do such a thing, just not very sure. My voice became smaller and smaller. Wash took a sip of water, quietly looking at me. When two people are together, the most important thing is still communication. If you have anything you want to ask, just ask her directly. If there really is something that can't be overcome, then break up. I understand all the principles. Before getting married, I also thought like that, but now I'm afraid to expose that thin layer of paper. To put it bluntly, I can't bear to. After all, I've secretly loved Lily for so many years and finally cultivated a positive result. The next day at work, I was also absent-minded, constantly thinking, not knowing what stage those two had developed to, staring blankly at the computer screen. These days, Lily hadn't taken the initiative to text me. When I asked, she would only reply perfunctorily. At lunchtime, Kitty, sitting at the table next to me, asked me, "What's the progress?" I was a little embarrassed, saying, "Just drifting along." Women's intuition is truly sharp. Kitty immediately carried her lunchbox over to gossip. "Are you and your wife arguing?" "Not really. She's ignoring me. If it's your fault, you have to coax her more. Men and women both need to be coaxed. You two are in a long-distance relationship. She's working in South City. Recently, she's inexplicably angry and refuses to come back. This is simple. If she refuses to come back, then you go find her. Make things clear. In 2 weeks, it'll be New Year's Day. Might as well go with your wife to celebrate New Year's Eve." I suddenly realized, since getting married, every holiday, Lily had come to me. I had never taken the initiative to go find her. Until now, I still didn't know what I had done drunk that day to make her angry. I had to ask clearly. With a goal, time seemed to pass faster. Although I texted Lily every day, I didn't tell her I would go to South City to celebrate New Year's Eve with her, planning to give her a surprise. 2 days before New Year's Day, I packed my luggage alone and took the high-speed train. It took several hours to reach South City. Back in high school, I had come to South City alone to study art for quite a long time, so I could be considered familiar with this place. I called a taxi to Lily's apartment in South City. Reaching the door, I remembered I didn't know the password. So, I had to foolishly wait at the door. Originally planning to text Lily, telling her to come back quickly, unexpectedly, bad luck struck. Just as I took out my phone, it ran out of battery, completely dead. In my 26 years of life, I had never been so unlucky. I leaned against the suitcase, squatting down, watching the sky gradually darken. People getting off work returned one after another, looking at me with strange eyes. I was a little embarrassed, turning my face away. I didn't know how much longer I waited. In the hallway, there was no one left. Lily still hadn't returned. I was about to doze off when I heard the elevator ding. I thought it must be Lily returning. Raising my head, I saw Lily, wearing a thin white coat, her whole body tired, slowly walking over. Suddenly, she saw me, standing stunned for a few seconds, then like a startled rabbit, running quickly to me. "Why are you only here now?" I rubbed my eyes and stood up. Lily didn't say anything, opened the apartment door, one hand pulling me, one hand pulling my suitcase into the house. Before I could say a second sentence, I was pulled into the bedroom. Lily stood on tiptoe, intending to kiss me. Before she kissed me, I suddenly remembered the purpose of this trip, pushing her away. "Wait, I came here to talk to you clearly." "Talk about what?" "Your matter with Rice, and also about when I was drunk." Lily silently looked at me for 2 seconds, her doe eyes full of confusion. "Me and Rice? You and Rice? Haven't you met a few times? Isn't he working at the same company as me now?" I sat on the bed, looking at her. She continued, "I'm not close to him at all, just met at the class reunion last time. Don't you believe me? Last time, I accidentally saw Willow texting you, asking you to meet Rice. Didn't you go then?" Thinking of the past few days of frustration, I blurted out everything I wanted to say. "If you regret it, then let's get divorced. Since the class reunion, you've been cold to me. When I text you, you also reply perfunctorily." Lily quietly listened to me finish speaking, then lifted my face, her doe eyes bright, saying each word clearly. "I have never regretted it, nor have I ever thought about divorce. Me and Rice are just old classmates. I don't have his contact information, nor have I ever met him privately. If you don't believe me, I'll give you my phone to check. Feel free to check." Lily took her phone out of her pocket and handed it to me to check. I carefully checked her contacts and social media. She and Rice truly had no contact. I also found the chat log between her and Willow that had been bothering me. "Willow, are you free this afternoon? Meeting Rice. Last time he also came back. He wants to see you today." "Lily, why is he seeing me?" "Willow, he wants to rekindle old flames with you." "Lily, I'm already married." "Willow, if so, then I won't go either. You two have fun." "Lily, don't. Let's tell him we're both not free. That'll do." "Willow, okay, whatever you say. You go out, let's gather." It turned out that she had replied to Willow like that back then. If I had known earlier, I wouldn't have tormented myself for so long. Indeed, Between husband and wife, the most important thing is still communication. I put away the phone and looked at Lily smiling. Then what exactly are you angry about? She changed her expression, slowly approaching, pinching my face, grinding her teeth and threatening. Tell me the truth. What did you say when you were drunk? I just wanted to ask clearly, but she didn't say, covering my mouth again. Her small hands were also not idle, unbuttoning my clothes. Then, under my persistent questioning, I finally knew what she was angry about. That day, when I was drunk, I kept rambling nonstop. Getting into the car, she found it funny, wanting to talk to me, but I was still thinking about her ambiguity with that Rice guy. I drunkenly said to her, "Don't you have someone ambiguous?" "I also have someone I secretly admire." I thought at that time, Lily's face must have turned black. She immediately asked me, "Do you still like that person now?" At that time, my brain was muddled. Of course, I do. I like her very much, liked her for 10 years already. She didn't know that the person I was talking about was her. The person I had secretly admired for 10 years. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to explain clearly to her. She had already gotten angrier and angrier on her own, finally being bullied by me to the point of being speechless. Afterward, she saw my bare upper body beside her, angrily punching me twice. I chuckled, teasing her, "Wow, your apartment is really solid. When are we going to buy a mattress?" I plugged in my phone charger, turned on the phone, intending to explain to Lily about my secret crush. I thought for a while, then asked, "Are you still angry at me now?" Lily put down the phone, slightly sulking, pinching my arm. "It's best if you don't mention that woman again, and you're not allowed to like her like that in the future. Then I'll stop being angry." I still wanted to deliberately tease her, not like her. How was that possible? I like her more and more. "John." She ignored me again, turned her back to me with her phone. Seeing her lying there for a long time without moving, I opened my phone and browsed the private photo album. In this album, all were photos of Lily from high school, which I had cropped out from all the group photos taken in high school. From freshman to junior year, there were photos of military parade, choir, sports meet, art performance, coming-of-age ceremony, until the last photo, which was our graduation photo. Although in each photo, she maintained the same expression, each photo was cherished by me for a very long time. I had wanted to tell her many times that I liked her very much. I liked her taciturnity, her calmness, her persistence, and also liked her appearance of not being bound by anything. I would create chance encounters on the way home from school, would deliberately attract her attention, would look at her photos while drawing to the point of dizziness. This gave me motivation to become better, to be worthy of her. But I always felt she wouldn't stop for me. I even more dared not easily disturb her. I could only hide my feelings, afraid she would find out. I always thought that after graduation, I would say these words. Unexpectedly, she achieved excellent results in the university entrance exam. At that time, I saw her name at the top of the school's honor roll, admitted to a very good university, far away from my school. Until graduation, I still couldn't say the words in my heart. She didn't know how nervous I was when I found out that my blind date was her, from my mom. That was the first time I agreed to go on a blind date. She also didn't know how happy I was to be able to marry her. I showed the phone to Lily, smiling and teasing her. "This is the girl I've liked for 10 years, pretty, right?" Honestly speaking, confessing my feelings to Lily, letting her know about my long-term unrequited love, was something I regretted very much. Regretted why I didn't say it sooner. Hearing my confession, she was stunned, but only a few seconds later, she returned to her usual self, like a little cat, acting spoiled in my arms. She smelled very fragrant. I couldn't help but kiss her. "John, you can kiss, but not bite." She was being kissed and bitten by me, struggling to escape my arms. I resolutely wouldn't let her. I had traveled all the way to South City to find her, and waited at the apartment door for several hours. I hadn't eaten anything all day. My stomach had long protested. So, when Lily and I were kissing passionately, my stomach growled very loudly, very inappropriately. I pushed Lily away slightly, her face flushed from my kisses. I quickly got out of bed and went outside. Lily looked at my back, asking, "Where are you going?" "Cooking." I used the leftover ingredients in Lily's fridge to cook a sumptuous dinner for two. Lily smelled the aroma and followed me into the kitchen. Maybe it was because she was hungry. Everything tasted delicious. Lily sat opposite me, smiling and watching me eat. Waited at the door for a long time? Several hours. Only you in the whole building came back the latest, always working overtime. Originally waiting for several hours was a bit impatient, But seeing you come back so tired, I felt a bit sorry for you instead. From then until now, the corners of her mouth had been curved upwards. Tomorrow, I'm taking a day off to go out and play with you, celebrate New Year's Eve. Yet, it wasn't until almost noon the next day that she woke up. Unexpectedly, Lily still remembered what I said about her bed being hard, pulling me to the shopping mall to choose a mattress. Reaching the shopping mall, Lily immediately took a liking to a spicy and sour fish stew restaurant. We thought about it. We were already hungry, so we went to eat first, then went shopping. While waiting for the food, I went to the restroom. Unexpectedly, bad luck struck again, meeting the person I least wanted to meet, Rice. Originally, I wanted to pretend not to know him. Back in high school, we had only exchanged a few words anyway. At the class reunion, he even treated me as invisible. Just as we were about to pass each other, he called out to me. I reluctantly turned my head back. You came to South City to find Lily, right? Obviously, I was slightly taller than him, but he seemed to have a slightly superior air. So what? I coldly looked at him. I advise you, it's best not to pester her anymore. Forcing her is very tiring. I know everything already. You know what? She married you just because of pressure from her family. For so many years, she has always been waiting for me. Rice paused for a moment, looking at me up and down with disdain. Now I'm divorced and working at the same company with her. I'm the most suitable person for her. You shouldn't pester her anymore. I remained silent. If I hadn't checked Lily's phone that night, perhaps I would have truly believed Rice's lies. I had never seen anyone so blindly confident, seriously saying words to destroy someone else's family. How do you know I'm forcing Lily? Right now, Lily is in the restaurant waiting to eat with me. If you don't believe me, you can come and see, conveniently ask clearly if I'm pestering her or not. And you, don't always be posting those pretentious, meaningless posts. You and Lily are not friends. She doesn't see them, nor can you get an appointment. Where do you get the confidence to say she didn't get married before because she was waiting for you? Moreover, Lily and I are already married. I hope you have some self-respect. These words, I had wanted to say for a long time. All the grievances accumulated over a long time were all poured out here. I felt much lighter. After speaking, I was too lazy to look at his complicated expression, turning around and leaving. When I returned to the spicy and sour fish stew restaurant, the food had already been served. Lily hadn't eaten a single bite, silently waiting for me, her obedient expression making me feel a bit guilty. Maybe it was because I had resolved the matter with Rice. My mood was much more relaxed. Going shopping with Lily in the afternoon was also particularly smooth. Hearing that there would be a countdown and fireworks display at the square tonight to welcome New Year's Eve, I suddenly remembered that the last time I watched New Year's Eve fireworks in South City was back in my sophomore year of high school when I was studying art here. It had already been 7 or 8 years. I put the things we bought into the car. Lily took the initiative to suggest going to see a movie. I thought, this was the first time the two of us were going to the cinema, very memorable. The tickets were bought by her, couple seats. I stood beside her, waiting for her to get the tickets. Today was New Year's Eve. The cinema was very crowded. She naturally took my hand and pulled me towards our seats in the back row. Originally, I was focusing on the plot of the movie, but Lily kept playing with my fingers, teasing me ambiguously. I held her hand back, but she still wouldn't be still. In the end, I had no choice but to pull her into my arms. My nose was filled with the faint fragrance from her, a very fresh scent. Since that night, Lily had become a clingy addict, wanting to hug and kiss all the time, like a little cat, sticking to me and not leaving. I felt she fundamentally had no intention of seriously watching the movie. Luckily, the lights in the cinema were dim enough to conceal our series of small actions. When the movie ended, there were still more than 20 minutes until the countdown time. People successively went to the square to watch New Year's Eve fireworks. When Lily and I arrived, the square was already packed with people. Lily tightly held my hand, as if afraid of losing me. We stood amidst the tall buildings, shining brightly with lights, with the crowd holding balloons, waiting to welcome the new year. I saw all young couples kissing each other. Lily and I also joined in among them. When the countdown began, the crowd started to stir, shouting in unison. I turned Lily's face to face me, looking into her doe eyes, seriously. I couldn't help but ask Lily, "Do you like me?" "No." Without hesitation, the corners of her mouth curved up. "I love you." Fireworks bloomed behind her, the cheers of the crowd around us flooding my ears, but I only saw her image tonight. I leaned down closer to her, giving her the first kiss of the new year. On the second day of the new year, Lily and I went back to her parents' home for New Year's. Lily's mom, whom I hadn't seen for a long time, and Lily had gone to the market early, buying a pile of delicious food. Looking at the dining table full of food, I called out Mom and Dad affectionately. Lily and I slept in the room she had lived in from childhood until high school graduation. Her room was a bit smaller than my room when I was young, but very cozy. Her room was decorated in warm, soft tones, and there were many pink details. Looking at these things, I imagined the image of Lily when she was young. We had been married for more than a year before I had the opportunity to thoroughly examine Lily's room. Most of her belongings had been moved to our home. In her room, there was still a large bookshelf. Inside were all extra reading books and textbooks from middle school and high school. Lily's certificates of merit and commendation were all neatly arranged. Seeing so many certificates of merit, I couldn't help but sigh. You're really very talented. Didn't you always know? She puffed up her chest like a proud kitten. Lily's textbooks, besides notes, had nothing superfluous, completely different from me when I studied. When I was bored, I would draw all sorts of small doodles. I didn't dare show my books to anyone. Suddenly, I discovered something strange and yet very familiar among these certificates of merit. I pulled it out, opened it, and it was a felt-tip pen drawing, already a bit old. This drawing was too familiar. I had drawn it. How I drew this painting, I still remembered. I looked down at the signature, John, 8th grade, Class M. Memories flooded back. This was my entry for the school art competition in 10th grade. At that time, in the midst of busy studies, I had taken the time to draw it. Afterwards, the exhibition changed content, processing all our drawings and calligraphy. I held the painting, looking at Lily. She noticed what I was holding in my hand, snatched the painting away, not letting me see it anymore. I followed up, asking her, "Where did you get this painting?" Asking to the point where her face turned red. "Lily, could it be that you secretly admired me?" Bonus chapter, Secret Admiration, Lily's perspective at the beginning of 10th grade. The boy named John sat right behind me. At first, I didn't pay attention to him. In other words, I didn't pay attention to anyone in class. But he sat right behind me and was also very fond of joking, making it hard for me not to notice him. I discovered that at the beginning of the semester, he studied very diligently. He also actively answered the teacher's questions in class, although he always answered wrong. When we got to chemistry, at some point, he became lazy. He didn't even bother to raise his head. Later on, basically, you couldn't hear his voice anymore. Every time the chemistry teacher asked students to go to the board to do exercises, he seemed to want to bury himself in his books, not daring to look up, only lacking the words, "I don't know," written on his face. I don't know if the chemistry teacher had the same mentality as me. Anyway, when calling students to the board, there would definitely be John. Once, the chemistry teacher asked the class monitor to check chemistry homework. I collected all the notebooks from my classmates in the drawer. Only John found an excuse, not wanting to give it to me. In the end, under my urging, he still gave it to me. Originally, I thought he hadn't done his homework, but when I opened his notebook, I was truly shocked. The ink was smudged by him, all messy. When the teacher explained the homework exercises, he sat below, drawing all sorts of cartoon images of the teacher. I must say, whether it was the movements or the last 2 strands of hair left on the chemistry teacher's head, he drew them very vividly. Afterwards, when doing chemistry homework at home, I would occasionally think of the drawing he drew, conveniently thinking of him. He was different from bookworms who only knew how to study like me. He knew how to draw, liked to play basketball, had wide connections. At the 11th grade sports meet, when he competed in the long-distance race, I secretly wrote a cheering message. Youth is not afraid of the long years, only hoping for glory on the road. He was different from me. John was like a palette. In his hand, he had countless possibilities, able to become anyone he wanted to be. I only knew how to study. My life was as calm as well water, bland and dull. He was like a stone, stirring the calm water surface. At school, I also couldn't help but look to see what he was doing, and often paid attention to whether he was going to art classes outside of school. About the painting I found at home, I remember that time the school organized an art festival, needing entries. The homeroom teacher assigned a few art students in the class to submit entries. He finished drawing, spending several class periods coloring. In the end, it was displayed at school. That evening, after school, I stayed in class for another 10 minutes to finish the last math problem. On the way home, I happened to encounter staff changing the exhibition boards. They were taking down John's painting, intending to throw it in the trash. I stopped them, taking it home. I thought, anyway, it was a painting he put effort into drawing. It would be a pity to throw it away like this. Afterwards, after graduation, naturally, there was no contact anymore. But occasionally at night, I would still think of John. I knew I must really like him. Not long after graduating from university, within 2 years, my mom finally couldn't stand the fact that I was still single. Since I don't know when, every time I went home, the topic would become, "You still don't have a boyfriend." So my mom started urging me to go on blind dates. My mom, once she said she would do something, she would do it. She searched everywhere for young men with conditions comparable to mine for me to talk to. I also saw John's name on my mom's list. At first, I thought it was just a coincidence, same name. John was very handsome and lively and humorous. I thought he must already have a girlfriend, someone he could go through life with together. But when I saw him, I was sure it was John. So, I told my mom that I agreed to go on a blind date. My mom was overjoyed, helping me arrange everything. The blind date location was at a cafe. I arrived very early. Actually, I couldn't sit still at home. I blamed myself for wasting so many years, my heart still restless. Since graduating from high school, we hadn't met many times. He had matured a lot compared to high school. We chatted casually. Maybe it was because his family was also urging him to get married, so we got married very smoothly. I couldn't imagine anything more fortunate than marrying the person I had secretly admired for so long. I always wanted to be with him, but John seemed not to want me to come home. Perhaps he only wanted a marriage in name only, to avoid his parents' urging. I didn't know either. Afterwards, Willow called me out to meet them. I wasn't very happy. It was hard to finally come home to see John, yet I was wasting a whole afternoon. But that night, for the first time, I took the initiative to kiss John. I thought, this trip back was really worth it. In South City, I really looked forward to National Day, so I could go home and be with John more. Just thinking about it made me happy. Before, when the high school class monitor said he wanted to organize a class reunion, I didn't care much. The high school classmates I wanted to meet would naturally meet privately. I also didn't have anyone else I wanted to meet. John was completely the opposite. He cared a lot. I felt he cared even more than meeting me, so I guessed he probably had someone he wanted to meet. He also truly admitted it. On the way to the hotel, I didn't say anything. He thought I was really angry. Honestly speaking, I was also a little bit, but of course, I could accept that he had someone he cared about, someone he liked. As long as after marriage, he could gradually forget, gradually like me, that would be enough. I suspected the person John wanted to meet was Summer. Back in high school, Summer played very closely with him. That day, as soon as we arrived, Summer touched John's face. I became even more unhappy. Midway through, a phone call came. The phone in my pocket vibrated. I went outside to answer the phone. Just as I hung up, suddenly someone hugged me from behind. I thought it was John, but immediately after, I realized something was wrong. I pushed him away. It was Rice. He said he had liked me for a long time, but I made it clear to him that I had never liked him, only considered him an ordinary classmate. He didn't believe me. Before, I always thought he was a decent person. If I had known earlier, I would have been more careful, gone to the women's restroom to answer the phone instead. I didn't believe he would be so perverted as to jump into the men's restroom. Escaping from Rice, turning back, I saw John drinking by himself until his face was flushed. Pity and also a little bit funny. He drank until he was drunk and mumbled something. Actually, at that time, I was thinking he was really cute. In the car, he drunkenly said, "Don't you have someone ambiguous?" "I also have someone I secretly admire." I was stunned, my heart tightening. I couldn't help but ask, "Do you still like her now?" He said, "Very much, still always like her, liked her for 10 years already." I had secretly admired him for 10 years. He also secretly admired someone else for 10 years. But did he know that secret admiration was really tiring? But perhaps I was luckier than him. At least I was able to be with the person I liked. I just kept saying I was really boring. From that day onwards, I was very cold to John. Afterwards, going back to my parents' home, my mom, with her sharp eyes, immediately noticed my coldness towards John, pulling me aside and asking me what happened. I lied to her, saying we had a few quarrels. A few quarrels, yet when people take the initiative to talk to you, you don't even bother to pay attention? Husband and wife can't be like this. Actually, I also didn't want to be like this, but I just occasionally thought of the words he said that night. Saying I didn't care was a lie. Returning to South City, I buried myself in work to forget everything. When there's a lot of work, naturally, you won't think about love anymore. The number of times I went home also decreased. The only thing that was comforting was that he was much warmer than before, proactively texting me every day, looking for me to chat. During that time, I also didn't have a concept of time, just felt it was an ordinary evening. After working overtime, I dragged my tired body home, thinking I was hallucinating when I saw John squatting in front of my apartment door, wrapped up tightly, not knowing how long he had been waiting for me, seeming to be about to doze off. My heart suddenly softened, no longer angry at him. What did it matter if he still liked someone else? Just living well with him for a lifetime was enough. That night, we made everything clear. In the end, when he showed me his phone to see, the corners of his mouth curved up, his dark eyes seemed to contain broken stars. That moment coincided with the image of him full of vitality at 18 years old. He said to me that I was the girl he had liked for 10 years. It was so happy, my heart was pounding like on our wedding day. Bonus chapter. Surprise gift 5 years after marriage. My life with Lily was still as sweet as the beginning. We had moved to a larger house with a small, beautiful garden. Lily still worked in South City, but we had agreed that we would welcome her back to River City to live with me after she completed an important project. One evening, Lily video called me, her face radiant. "John, I have good news to tell you." I was curious. "What good news?" Lily giggled. "Guess." I thought for a while. "You got promoted?" Lily shook her head. "My project is completed?" Lily shook her head again. "I gave up. I surrender, tell me." Lily took a deep breath, saying in a happy tone, "We're going to have a baby." I was stunned, my heart pounding. An indescribable emotion flooded me, joy, happiness, mixed with a little worry. I was going to be a dad. I stammered, "Really? Really?" Lily nodded, showing me the pregnancy test stick, 2 clear lines. I couldn't hold back my tears, hugging the phone screen, kissing Lily's image. "I love you, Lily. I love you too, John, and I love our baby." I immediately booked a flight to South City. I wanted to be by Lily's side, taking care of her and our baby. From the day I knew about the baby, I became more careful and thoughtful than ever before. I learned all the knowledge about caring for pregnant women, cooked nutritious meals for Lily, and massaged her legs every night. Lily smiled at me indulgently. "You're so worried. The baby hasn't even been born yet and is already being spoiled by you." I smiled happily. "As long as you and the baby are healthy, I'll do anything." 9 months later, Lily gave birth to a beautiful and adorable baby girl. We named her Anna, hoping our child would always be safe and happy. Since having Anna, our life became even more complete and meaningful. I learned how to change diapers, feed milk, and lull the baby to sleep. Lily said I was a capable dad. One evening, after Anna had fallen asleep, I sat beside Lily, gazing at our child. Lily took my hand, saying, "Thank you, John. Thank you for bringing me this happiness." I smiled and kissed Lily's forehead. "Thank you, Lily. You are the most wonderful gift life has given me. Anna is the crystallization of our love, the proof of our perfect little family's happiness. And I know our life will always be filled with love and laughter because we have each other. We have Anna. We have a complete family."